Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama om Vishnu padaya Krishna preshtaya bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class. Today Unit 3, Lesson 5. Let us take the blessings of Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Shri Gaurnitai and Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is the last part of this Bhagavad Gita. So here we have qualities of a Bhakti Shastri, that is Sharanagati, the attitude of surrender. After understanding Bhagavad Gita, what should be the realization of a person, or what he has to do, that is surrender to Krishna. This 18th chapter and the entire Bhagavad Gita is teaching us how to surrender to Krishna, why to surrender to Krishna, and what is the result of surrendering to Krishna. Now, in this 18th chapter, Krishna is giving the final instruction to Arjuna. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Arjuna, don't worry, I will take all your responsibility and you just surrender unto me. So this is the final instruction of Bhagavad Gita, which everyone should come to the conclusion. If we are not coming to this conclusion, then our study of Bhagavad Gita is not complete, or we have not come to the right path or right direction. So let us continue. Today we will be covering text number 55 to up to last, that is 78. Sharanagati. The Lord comes here to re-establish the principles of religion. And the basic principle is the development of an attitude of surrender to Him. This is the Lord's last instruction in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other processes and just surrender unto me alone. Here Krishna is telling Sarva dharman parityajya. Give up all other activities or the processes. What are those other processes? The processes in spirituality or the practice of religiosity, there are so many, and they give different results. And these processes or the activities, if we are attached to them, and if they are not bringing us to the love of Godhead, then such morality or principles or religious practices, they should be given up. there is no need to practice them, because the final achievement or final goal, whatever is there, that is not achieved through them. Such activities are considered in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Kaitava Dharma. Kaitava Dharma means cheating type of religion. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam. This Kaitava Dharma is removed from the Srimad Bhagavatam. That means whatever instruction Bhagavatam gives us, it is the instruction to get the love of Godhead. If it is not so, then that is Kaitava Dharma. In the Vedas or in other Puranas, there are many instructions how one can become happy in this material world. There are so many instructions. You can worship the demigods, or you can satisfy them. You can do sacrifices, and you can get wealth, health, name, fame, all these things. And because of these, the person may get more and more ego, or he may think that this material world is so wonderful, I'll stay here only. So such things which deviates us away from Krishna, such things are not recommended. Krishna telling here, just give up such things, because Krishna, when Arjuna gave reasons in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, they were all acceptable religiously, or he is giving the highest morality. Just like a person, he gives up everything and goes to forest, and he gives all his possessions in charity to others. These all are great deeds. They are not ordinary. Arjuna is ready to do all these things. But Krishna is telling, you just have to follow my instruction, because that is the ultimate good for everyone. Savai pumso parodharmo yatho bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. That is a real religion which takes us to Krishna, which gives us the love of Godhead, not otherwise. So that is the real surrendering process. So Krishna is telling parityajya means those kind of activities, it has to be given up. Sarva dharman parityajya. Then what you should do? Maam ekam sharanam raja. Just surrender unto me. Now, what is this surrendering process? There are 6 levels or 6 steps in the surrendering process, which we will be studying in the later coming slides. So these 6 steps or these 6 processes, if you are accepting, then we can say that a person has surrendered to Krishna. Surrendering to Krishna means accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, it is told in the very beginning of this PPT, the qualities of a Bhakti Shastri. Now we are studying this Bhagavad Gita and other books in Bhakti Shastri. So what is the final result of this studies? The Shastra, that is surrendering to Krishna, understanding Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are so many scholars who have taken degree in the Bhagavad Gita, in the study of Bhagavad Gita, or in the Sanskrit grammar. They might have learned so many Vedic literatures, and they might have understood the literary meaning of it. But it doesn't mean that they have come to the right conclusion. So our Bhakti Shastri study is not having such kind of goal. We are not producing any scholars, or we are not interested to just finish the study of Bhagavad Gita. Somebody cannot claim that, okay, I have done my Bhakti Shastri. That means I have finished learning everything about Bhagavad Gita. That is not possible. What is the goal of study in the Bhakti Shastri is to make a person humble and understand that whatever we know, it is very, very little. And by knowing this, we should understand that I have even more to learn from Bhagavad Gita. My eagerness to read Bhagavad Gita should increase more and more. Now, once again, after finishing this 18th chapter, once again, one has to go back and study the Bhagavad Gita as it is, word by word, read line by line. and make a note of it, make a study properly. Because every time we read, Prabhupada has something to give us. Every time we go back to Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada wants to instruct us through that. So that kind of surrendering process has come in within us, means our study of Bhagavad Gita is complete. Otherwise, it is not complete, or we have not achieved the real purpose of doing this Bhakti Shastri. So Bhakti Shastri is to make a person humble and make him to surrender to Krishna. Here is activity, the throughout entire section, that is 55 to 78. Identify the significant verses from chapter 18, verses 55 to 78. What is their relevance for us? So there are totally 4 sections here. The first section, 55 to 60, is talking about Bhakti and Buddhi Yoga. That means this is directly talking about the devotional service. Because in the previous chapters, that is up to 54, we have studied about different topics like the bondages, that is in the Karma Yoga, we have bound. In the beginning of 18th chapter, as the 18th chapter is the summary of entire Bhagavad Gita, the beginning, it starts with the Karma Yoga, and it will talk about the 5 factors of action, and then the modes which control those actions, and then how to get purified through the Varnashrama system practice, and then it spoke about the Brahman platform. This was done in the last class. This is the 50% of 18th chapter. Now another 50%, that is 55 to 78, it is talking about directly the Bhakti Yoga or Bhakti and Buddhi Yoga. Performing devotional service, that is performing the activity with the knowledge, that is the yoga or Bhakti Yoga. And then after knowing this Bhakti, one has to surrender to the Lord. So 61, 62, 63 is speaking about surrender to Super Soul. Then 64 to 66 is direct Bhagavan realization, that is surrendering to Krishna. Then finally, Krishna is telling the glory of preaching Krishna consciousness. One should not keep this knowledge to oneself. He has to distribute to others so that everyone will get benefited. So let us make 4 groups now. Each group can take one section. First group will be taking Bhakti and Buddhi Yoga. Second group will be surrender to Krishna, surrender to Super Soul. Third group, surrender to Krishna. And then last group, preaching Krishna consciousness. What instructions Krishna has given them. So in that way, let us make a activity here. And this is the only activity for today. So I'll make 4 groups here. You have 5 minutes for discussion and 3 minutes for presentation. Hope the question is clear for all. Okay, so your time starts now. Okay, Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Prabhuji, that first part of the question, will you please show that slide? I did not get the question exactly.
Yeah, identify the significant verses.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hope everyone have noted on the question. Sarita Mataji.
Prabhuji, I missed that one. Can you please share me once again to join? No, the group.
Okay, you can see on the screen.
No, I couldn't join the group. It got missed before I joined.
Okay, you are in room number 3 now.
I don't know, Prabhuji.
Okay. Now you try. Hare Krishna, welcome back to the session. Yes, Kiruva Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, you can start.
Oh, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
This is the most confidential knowledge Krishna is sharing to Arjuna, being his dear friend.
Yeah.
So,
This is which section, Prabhu?
third group, Prabhu.
Third one, surrender into Krishna.
64, 65, yeah, 66.
Okay.
So, here every minute, that is Manmana Bhava Mat Bhakto. So, Krishna says that, think of me always, every minute possible. Always worship unto me. Think about me, concentrate and stay focused on me. So this is the main message he is conveying. And as per the Brahma Samhita, the true form of Supreme Gods is given. That is the two hands form with a flute and the peacock feather, bluish boy, the beautiful nature of the true God. So this image we should always bring to we need not be an official meditator, but we can bring this form in our mind and we think of him and surrender to him, chanting, praying every minute when our life, like as we breathe, we should think and stay focused on the Lord. This is what is conveyed in this purport. And my other colleagues also will share each one purport. Pradosh Prabhuji and Sri Hari Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. All glories to
Dipti
Srila
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, the section which we have received is the fourth one, 67 to 71.
Okay.
So, Prabhuji, what we have discussed within the group, this is basically related to how this knowledge should be, with whom we should share this knowledge. So, preaching Krishna consciousness, basically. So, the first and foremost thing is that this is a confidential knowledge. So, we should not explain it to those who are really not austere, who are not devoted to the Lord in the devotional service, or to a person who is envious of the Lord. Because there are people who are envious of the Lord due to their mental speculations. What they do is they also try to make a business out of it. So, but we should understand when they are doing this, they are actually not elevating people spiritually. So, not only that, if a person is sensuous, or if a person is not sensuous and he's trying to follow all the religious activities properly, sincerely, but if the person is really not devoted to the Lord, if he doesn't understand that Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then still he'll not be able to attain, he won't be able to elevate himself transcendentally. So this is what we have understood. And it is usually advised that the Bhagavad Gita should be, it is recommended that Bhagavad Gita should be read amongst the devotees. The devotees should associate, and not to those who whimsically try to understand this. So basically not to the philosophical speculators. And the Lord himself says that people who are really, who preach Krishna consciousness, who help others to elevate transcendentally, is very dear to the Lord. Priya Krittamaha. So, and when what we are doing right now is we are trying to worship the Lord by our intelligence. So we are trying to, since we are studying this sacred conversation, so we are worshipping him by our intelligence, Buddhi. And not only that, the Lord also says that there are people, people who are really not envious of the Lord, who still have faith in them. They have faith for the Lord. So the prime purpose of the pure devotees, what they do is they hold classes. They hold open classes, they conduct lectures. Even the Srimad Bhagavatam classes are held on regular basis, on daily basis, just to ensure that the people understand, and it helps them to revive their lost consciousness, so that they can ultimately become free from all the sinful reactions. And that is what happens when we start associating with the bona fide spiritual masters. We start becoming free from the sinful reactions. And there is a possibility, it is not that a person will become pure on the spot, or it will take time. Gradually it happens, but still it is possible for them that they'll be able to attain the auspicious planets where all the righteous people reside, like Dhruv Loka is one of the examples that has been explained. And Prabhuji, how it is relevant to us is that we, all of us, are in the three modes. We are basically, we are associated with the three modes of material nature. So it is very much important for us to associate with a bona fide spiritual master, to come under his shelter, so that we can understand that how to carry out our surrender, how to carry out our devotional service in the right spirit. Because we are also not righteous, we do not know all the kind of sacrifices or the yagnas, what we are righteous activities that we should do. So we know that the best Sankirtan yagna is the best one in this Kali Yuga. And this is what we can at most do, that we can try to preach the message of Lord Shri Krishna in the right way within the disciplic succession. So that will help us in associating with the Lord, and it will help us in basically advancing ourselves in our surrendering process towards the Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Deepti Mataji. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Pradosh Prabhuji has to complete the first one. Should I continue or he will complete it first?
Okay, let him
Yes,
speak first.
Yeah, because Kiruba Prabhuji said no continuation with Pradosh Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I will, in relevance to the 18.64, I will speak.
Yeah.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. While we are going for any exam or anything, we have certain things like which is important, which is more important, and which is most important. So in life, which is most important, we cannot ignore that. If the important or more important somehow skipped, if we read that once and we did not repeat, but for the most important thing, we keep on repeating. It should be like that. Even if we are sleeping, we are eating, whatever we are doing, it should be in our mind all the time. In relevance to that, here also, Supreme Personality of Godhead, because Arjuna is very close to him as a devotee, as a friend. So he is disclosing and he is telling, I have already told you about the important, which is the knowledge of Brahman. And then the more important, which is more confidential, which is the concept of soul and super soul. Soul, we can see what is happening in our own body, but the super soul is present in every living entity's heart, and he watches what is happening where and here and there, everywhere. Now comes to the part of most important, most confidential knowledge. What is that? Just to surrender whatever you are doing, even if you cannot do anything, be it Jnana Yoga, be it Karma Yoga, be it Bhakti Yoga, but whatever you are doing, just surrender everything onto me. And every minute, maybe whatever you are doing, every moment, you just keep remembering me. This, in fact, we can say repetition, because in 8.2 also we have read at the time of demise also, if you remember, then we can get a good thing. In chapter 9 also, we have read about man mana mana mat bhakto, that thing. So here also, again, he is repeating, because this is the most confidential thing, which is stressing, you just surrender onto me, and this is the most confidential knowledge. So this is concluding with 18.64. Already Kiruba Shankar Prabhuji has explained about 18.65, man mana mano mat bhakto, and now I will request Sri Hari Priya Mataji, who will explain about 18.66, and that is again Sarva Dharmam Parityaja Mamek Saranam Braja. With this, Prabhuji concluding.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So here I would like to highlight what is the significance of this verse and the relevance to us. So the important points out here are Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Here Lord is saying that when we take up all the activities which are desired by the Lord himself, so then our pure life or a pure devotee's, I would say, the birth happens when we take up all the activities which we are desirous by the Lord. Then there is Sarv Dharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So Lord here is highlighting the pinpoint that don't run about doing different religious activities or running about the knowledge or any activity which will take you to a lot of confusion. It is better simply give up everything and surrender unto me, total surrender unto the Lord. That is what Prabhu is highlighting here. Then aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshyami mashucha. So here the highlight of the this particular shloka is that all your sinful reactions will automatically become neutral the moment you surrender unto me. Here, what the point Lord is trying to highlight is that we believe, like for our application, it is not required for us. One day we will become free of all the sinful reactions and then we will start our Krishna conscious journey, or we will become devoted to the Lord. Here, Lord is assuring us by saying Ma Shucha, that He is giving us the assurance. He is saying, don't fear, don't hesitate, don't give it a second thought. Just surrender unto me. I will take care of all your sinful reactions and you will be free from them. Then Lord is only highlighting one basic point here is surrender. The surrender will lead to the removal of all the sinful reactions. By quoting one example, I would say that the practical example which Srila Prabhupada here mentioned, by his particular mode of action himself, that he did not wait for the hippies to give up all the sinful activities or wrongful activities. He simply guided and moved them over to the path of Krishna consciousness slowly and steadily. And by that particular process, purification of their both bodily and mental and soul all happened automatically. So in this way, it is I would say it is a overlapping process. Don't wait for sinful reactions to get zero to begin Krishna consciousness. It is only parallelly, it happens automatically. Both the things can coexist together. So that is the highlight of this particular shloka, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. And for us, it is applicable in that particular aspect that whatever we can dovetail all our activities or whatever actions we do, we should do it with Krishna, keeping him in center. And that is how we will be able to progress slowly and steadily on Krishna consciousness journey, and purification of our will also happen. And we will ultimately be blessed by Lord and reach his Golok Dham. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Krishna bless, Happy New Year to everyone. Prabhuji, this actually, we got it from 61 to 63. Okay. And this actually, in 10.8 also Krishna has said, Ki mata sarvam pravarte aham sarvasya prabhavo. Mata sarvam pravarte. So that means that he's there everywhere. Now, this is just telling about the super soul. For us, it was like how to surrender to the super soul. So it's a small little example, Prabhuji. We have been given our little freedom. That Krishna also says that yatechi tatha kuru. I'm giving you a freedom of what you do. It's a small little practical example, like you have put on a Zoom, Prabhuji. You are teaching us. You give us the liberty to put us on mute, but you've given us you are looking at us, but through the video. So it is similarly, the super soul is sitting. It is looking at us through the video and what we are doing, but he's keeping quiet. We are muted. So he doesn't speak, but he gives us the liberty. See, you put us on mute, we can talk anything outside the class. But Prabhuji, you are seeing us everything. So this is the way super soul is being presented, that he looks what we are doing, what our activity is. If we, according to our activity, we will then be given a different body, and that the same thing is just given the analogy that it is super soul is looking at our activity, knows what we are doing. We cannot cheat him. It is just like an examination hall. We are all doing it and an invigilator is sitting. Even if he doesn't speak, he can see what is happening and he can discard the person. So that is, he can put him out of the class if in case he is doing cheating or anything, but he will not speak anything. He will just look at. So that is what the super soul, and accordingly, the Krishna gives us the body. And he gives us like it's compared to a driver who's driving a fast car or driving a slow car. So driver is the same. So accordingly, he will, according to our deeds, what he has observed, he's an examiner, he's sitting inside. And that's why we say we get a voice from inside when we are doing wrong. It's only that we are in a habit of suppressing that voice. Everybody gets that voice that, no, it's not correct, don't do it, don't. But we are like Bhood Buddhi. We will do what we like. And we think nobody is looking at us. So that is one thing what they try to explain in 61. Then in 62, that it is sitting in the heart and the material existence, because we undergo these miseries of birth, death, old age, disease, because we are used to doing what we like, and that is why we suffer it. And the Godhead is still, but he has a full record of us. Final exam, he will give us the final marks then, and that will determine it how. And this is because what he has given, maybe we were more used to be with the stick to learn. He's given us the independence, and that misuse of independence is what we are doing it in this world. We are into the modes of material nature. We try to go into passion, or maybe whatever goodness, which is rare, and which is ignorance, what is most in at least us. So that is, this little independence is the misuse, and the super soul is just observing that let me show you what you have done in the whole life, whatever, I'm looking at you, but you're still not afraid of it. And the best way, he gives the instruction that if you really want to understand what is the super soul, realize that there is a ansh of a Lord sitting inside in the heart, and he's observing you. And then you, every minute you remember, every minute, and then you surrender. When you are in a dilemma, when we are in a wrong, surrender it to the super soul. Let him guide us the right way. And that will only come when we are associated with devotees, when we are attending the classes, when we are totally absorbed into Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Rakshita Mataji.
So ours is the first section, talking about devotional service and Buddhi Yoga.
Okay.
So Bhaktya Mam Abhichananti, Krishna says. So Krishna can be understood only by pure devotional service. And Prabhupada says in purport, not by erudite scholarship or by mental speculation can we understand him. Only when a pure devotee performs devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee, Krishna can be understood. Otherwise, he will be covered by his Yoga Maya, and he reveals only to pure devotees. This happened to be true in case of Brahma also. Brahma is a pure devotee, but then for a moment he was carried away, and he wanted to test Krishna in Brahma Vimohan Leela, and then he happened to take he happened to kidnap all the calves and his friends, and finally he understood that Krishna can be understood only by pure devotional service through pure Sharanagati. And when we do this, what happens? We can enter into the kingdom of the Lord, the eternal kingdom of the Lord, and a pure devotion service starts after liberation. So right now, it's like a practice phase. We practice how to serve Him unconditionally, and then if we qualify, we enter into His supreme abode, and we can offer service to Him. That's the meaning of the word Vishyate. Vishyate means one can enter into his abode and in his individuality engage in his devotional service. And so the next one, Krishna says, when we dovetail our activities to the Lord and when we work for Krishna, that's when whatever we do, every karma of ours, we will not have to face the reaction. So this can also be linked with Nishkama Karma Yoga, where we devote all the results, all the fruits of the activity to the Lord, and that time we will not have any karma to face. And that time Krishna reveals and gives us the right direction. Krishna also says, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantiti. So Krishna says, I will give you the right direction, show you the right path if you dovetail your activities. So this is something to do with Buddhi Yoga as well. If we dovetail our fruits of the activities to Krishna and work for his satisfaction, at that time Krishna will give us Buddhi Yogam through which we can reach him. And so in all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So we have to remember, Krishna also says, remember me and fight Arjuna, he says. So we have to remember Krishna and perform our activities. Whether the activities are good or bad, I think we don't have anything to do with it. Because once we come into this material world, it's our duty to do our karma properly. Even if it is to fight our own kinsmen. But when we involve Krishna and when we bring Krishna or keep Krishna in the center and then do or work for him, for his satisfaction, then karma will not bind us. He will take all the karma and he will give us the right direction, right protection also. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritam. Once we become his devotees, we are no more under the control or the clutches of the material world. Krishna puts us under the protection of divine prakriti. And coming to the first shloka, I think I missed one point. Even in Brahma Samhita, it is there. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. So we can understand Krishna only when our eyes are, when we have chakshu, divine vision. I mean, vision of love. When we have vision of love, when we offer Krishna unconditional, loving, devotional service, that's when Krishna reveals to us and comes to us. So talking about the relevance to us, relevance in our personal life, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura once says the 6 levels of devoting to Krishna. We start with time. We initially start devoting to Krishna with time. After that, we devote our ears to Krishna. We listen to all the pure devotees. And then we learn how to offer devotion service. And then we devote our tongue to Krishna. We start chanting. We start understanding the shlokas. We start chanting the shlokas as well. After that, we devote our mind to Krishna. We understand. As we learn Bhagavad Gita, we understand. Krishna says man mana. And then we devote our mind to Krishna. After that, we devote our heart to Krishna. Proper sadhana leads to loving devotional service. So we start offering our heart with love. We start offering, the Raganuga stage we reach. After that, we manasa vacha karmana, we devote our entire self to Krishna. So I think personal relevance may I couldn't think of much. Prabhuji, this is all I could think of. And Sureshwar Priya Mataji or Radha Vallabhi Mataji, anybody wants to add on? Please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Mataji, you have added, explained it very well. The only point I had is in the verse 56, it is also mentioned. God says the word mat vetpratsu, which means under protection. So God protects us also. He says, when you take this devotional service, I protect you. My pure devotee under my protection reaches a eternal and imperishable abode of my grace. So one reaches the abode of Lord. That's all I wanted to say, because you have covered all other points. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Matajis have already spoken, except
Network problems.
no 2 points. So I can just, they have already put. The real devotional service begins only after, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I'm Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. Continue.
I'm audible?
Yes.
So the real devotional service begins only after liberation. This is one point. And the second point is that in 57th verse, there is a word called mat, goal in our life except serving Lord Krishna. So matpara means always think about him. That is our goal. And we are there only to do devotional service unto him, because 65 to devotional service and why we should do it. So here all our intelligence should be utilized for performing devotional service unto him. So here matpara is a word that indicates that the goal of any jiva is to do service for Krishna. And another thing, in 58 shloka, there it is said that Krishna becomes the most intimate friend for devotees. So devotees are doing unalloyed devotion towards the super soul. So he will be definitely giving us this one. He will become our friend. So friend will always guide us properly. Now in 59th shloka, we are just relating what we studied in 2nd chapter and what we are studying in 18th chapter. In 2nd chapter, Arjuna was very confused. And again, Arjuna is telling that no, he was considering he is the doer of everything. But Krishna is reminding he has to work as a Kshatriya because that is his dharma. And again, under the guidance of Lord Krishna, because whatever Krishna desires, one has to do it. So here there is a saying, actually he was considering himself the master of his action. So we are not the master of our action. Actually, we are just performing the directions given by Lord Krishna. If he directs us to do certain things, we are supposed to do all such activities. Now the last slogan, that is 60th slogan. If we are not following his instructions, then we are under the clutches of Maya. We will be controlled by the 3 different modes and its combinations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So surrender to Krishna or surrender to Maya. Only 2 options are there. One can choose from. So there is no third option. So either you can surrender to Krishna or you can surrender to Maya. Okay, devotees can give the attendance in the Google form that is shared by Muralidharan Prabhu. Prabhuji, do we have Kirtan now?
Yes, there is.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please.
I'm myself doing the Kirtan.
Yeah.
So in the last class, Sarita Mataji happened to sing the first 10 verses of the Gopi Geet because it's long. So I will be doing the remaining part of it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chalasi yad prajacharayam pashu Nalina sundaram natate padam Nilatranukara sidati naha Kalilatamana kanta gachati Dinapatikshaye Nilakuntalay Naruhanana Ghanarajasvalam darshayanmuh Anasinaasmaram nirayachasi Anatakamakam padmajachitam Taranimandanam Deyamapati Charanapankajam Santamam chate Amananastaneswaparyadihan Duratavartanam Shaukanachanam Haritavennuna Sustatam Itararagaveshmaranam Rinam Itaraviranaspiyadhamratam Atatayadbhavanahanikananam Trutiyugayate Tvamapashyatam Kutilakuntalam Shrimukham chate Tadau Dikshatam Lakshmakhildrisham Atisutaalaya Bhatirbandhavan Atirikshate Antyachyutagata Gatividhastavotkritamohita Navayoshita Kasya Dinishi Rahasi Idam Vichachayadam Rahasitananam Hemavikshanam Brihadurashriya Vikshadhamate Purati Spriha Muhyate Mana Rajavanikshanam Vyaktirangate Prihai Shvamangalam Yajamanakshaznash Tatsprahanranam Vajanahradrajam Yannishodanam Yatte sudate charanamburoham Staneshu bihatasanai priyadhidamahi Karkasheshu tena tatvimatashitadyatate Nakim svit kurpadi bhira brahmatidir भवदयुषं नः जयति तेऽधिकं जन्मना व्रजः जयति इन्दिरा सत्त्वदत्तहि दयितदृश्यतां दिक्षु तावकास् त्वयितता स्वहा स्वां विचिन्वते हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Translation. Dear Master, dear lover, when you leave the cowherd village to herd the cows, our minds are disturbed with the thought that your feet, more beautiful than a lotus, will be pricked by the spiked husks of grain and the rough grass and plants. At the end of the day, you repeatedly show us your lotus feet, covered with dark blue locks of hair and thickly powdered with dust. Thus, O hero, you arouse lusty desires in our minds. Your lotus feet, which are worshipped by Lord Brahma, fulfill the desires of all who bow down to them. They are the ornament of the earth, they give the highest satisfaction, and in times of danger they are the appropriate object of meditation. O lover, O destroyer of anxiety, please put those lotus feet upon our breasts. O hero, kindly distribute to us the nectar of your lips, which enhances conjugal pleasure and vanquishes grief. That nectar is thoroughly relished by your vibrating flute and makes people forget any other attachment. When you go off to the forest during the day, a tinge of fraction of second becomes like a millennium for us because we cannot see you. And even when we can eagerly look upon your beautiful face, so lovely with its adornment of curly locks, our pleasure is hindered by our eyelids, which were fashioned by the foolish Creator. Dear Achyuta, you know very well why we have come here. Who but a cheater like you would abandon young women who come to see him in the middle of the night, enchanted by the loud song of his flute? Just to see you, we have completely rejected our husbands, children, ancestors, brothers, and other relatives. Our minds are repeatedly bewildered as we think of the intimate conversations we had with you in secret. Feel the rise of lust in our hearts and remember your smiling face, your loving glances, and your broad chest, the resting place of the goddess of fortune. Thus we experience the most severe hankering for you. O beloved, you are all auspicious appearance vanquishes the distresses at those living in Vraja forests. Our minds long for your association. Please give to us just a bit of that medicine which counteracts the disease in your devotees' hearts. O dearly beloved, your lotus feet are so soft that we place them gently on our breasts, fearing that your feet will be hurt. Our life rests only in you. Our minds, therefore, are filled with anxiety that your tender feet might be wounded by pebbles as you roam about the forest path. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, we have seen the second part of Bhagavad Gita in brief. Let us continue to the session. Let us hear from Srila Prabhupada. Those who would like to read can raise their hands. Muralidharan Prabhu.
Hear from me supreme instruction. Manmana bhava mad bhakto, think of me, become my devotee. Madhyaji mam namaskuru, worship me, offer our homage unto me.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, 64 and 65 verses. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhu. Here Krishna is giving or repeating the instruction that he has given earlier in the 9th chapter. Shrunume paramam vachaha. So here Krishna is explaining that I'm going to speak to you something very, very important now. That is Shrunume Paramam Vachaha. And then he says, Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. These are the 4 processes which one has to practice so that one can become dear to Krishna, or one can practice Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. So this is the most important part of Bhagavad Gita, because of which one can purify one's life and one can make his life perfect. So that is the Manmana, that is always think of Krishna, Bhavamat Bhakto, become devotee of the Lord, and think of me, here become my devotee, and Madhyaji, worship the Lord always, and Mam Namaskuru, offer your homage unto me. But this is not possible for everyone. Who can do this Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto? One who has already ready for performing devotional service. This cannot be done by anybody and everyone, because whatever sinful reactions that we have, it will take us away from Krishna. Just like when we start chanting, when we sit and chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we feel sleepy. Or when we sit for reading Bhagavad Gita, we will fall asleep, or so many things comes to our mind, and or we will not be able to concentrate on that. Or if we are starting to perform some devotional activities, there are so many impediments that come in between. All these are happening because we have no qualification, or our sinful reactions are not allowing us to come in touch with the Lord. When we are hearing some lecture, if we are able to grasp the instruction properly, then that means we are in the proper mode. That is, if we are in the goodness or sattva guna, then we will be able to do it. But when we are hearing some class or some instructions, if our mind is roaming around, or if it is going to so many different subject matters, then our mind is in the mode of passion. And when we are sitting and hearing, and slowly we feel sleepy, or we will not be able to concentrate, then we are in the mode of ignorance. So these 3 modes are always controlling us, or it will have some effect. So being in this material world, having so much of sinful reactions, and being under the control of 3 modes, how one can perform this Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru? It is not so easy. So Krishna has given the process. If you do this, then you will come to me. But there are so many impediments for performing all these activities. Now Krishna is removing all those impediments in the next coming shloka. So Krishna is telling, you are having the sinful reactions, or you are having so many impediments for performing the devotional service, the main principles of devotional service. Now I will remove it. What you need to do, you just surrender unto me. So by surrendering to Krishna, Krishna will remove all those sinful reactions, so that he can easily perform the devotional service. So that is the next shloka comes, that is Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Now what are the different activities? That is, Sarva Dharman means whatever religious activities, or whatever Krishna has explained previously. Krishna has given so many levels of performance, that activities or spiritual practices. Even Krishna has explained about the demigod worship, or the Varnashrama system. All these things, if it is not coming to, it is not taking somebody to the devotional service, performance of the devotional service, or if it is not giving him the love of Godhead, then Parityajya, abandon them. Don't take to it, or you don't have to practice it. Now, when a person gives up his dharma, then there is some sinful reaction. There is punishment. Even in the general law, if a person he is failing to perform his duty, then he will be punished. But if you are doing it for the sake of Krishna, then he will not be punished. If somebody is not doing some duty which he has promised, or if he has assigned to, and if he is neglecting such duties, then he is punishable. But if he is not doing it because it is taking him away from Krishna, and if he is not interested in the result of that activity, then Krishna will protect. So what that kind of sinful reaction that comes, that Krishna is going to remove. So either our past sinful reaction or the sinful reaction that comes at the present moment during the surrendering process, all these things are taken care by Krishna, and he is telling, just surrender unto me. This is like Arjuna's best friend. Lord Krishna is telling, Arjuna, you just fight the war. Don't worry about the result. And this war is, anyhow, it is going to happen, and you just become the instrument in my hand. Just surrender unto me and fight the war, so that everything will be all right. So that is what Krishna is instructing here to Arjuna. Abandon all varieties of religion, surrender unto me. Radha Vallabi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavasana. Central point of Bhagavad Gita. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that Arjuna should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. In other words, devotional service to Krishna is full consciousness, is the most confidential part of knowledge. And this is the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, 66. Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mataji. So in this way, Krishna is instructing Arjuna to surrender. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Instead of satisfying his own personal material senses, he has to satisfy the senses of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. The Lord wants this, and he demands it. One has to understand this central point of Bhagavad Gita. Our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the whole world this central point. Bhagavad Gita preface. Sri Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So if we are surrendering to Krishna, then all this morality, what the social morality, what we see, what Arjuna has told, if we kill these people, then this is going to happen, that is going to happen. All these botherations will not be there, because he is acting not for sense gratification, but for the pleasure of the Lord, or for his ultimate good. He is doing that. That process will not bind him, rather it will purify him. Now we have understood the importance of surrender. When a person surrenders to Krishna, his all sinful reactions are removed, and he can perform devotional service, and then he can make his life successful. Now we should know what is the surrendering process. Okay, I want to surrender. What does it mean? It's like if somebody is showing the gun, we raise both hands. Yes, I surrender. Is it like that? Or is it some process is there when we say surrender to Krishna? Everyone can say, I am also devotee. I also surrender to Krishna. So we have to check whether I have surrendered to Krishna or not through the 6 processes. That is, you can see first one, Anukulyasya Sankalpaha. This is given in the purport. Anukulyasya Sankalpa means accept everything favorable, which is to the devotional service. Whatever favorable is there for performing devotional service, accept it. Then, Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Reject everything that is unfavorable to the devotional service. So this is how we have to make our life, or make our day, or our routine. Any activity that takes us away from the Lord, it has to be given up. And any activity that is making us to remember Krishna, it has to be accepted. So this is the surrendering process. Then next comes Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso. Firmly, one should have convinced that Krishna will give protection at all the time. This is not so easy. Prahlad Maharaj was firmly, he was confident that Krishna is going to protect. Even though Hiranyakashipu tried to kill him in so many ways, Prahlad Maharaj was always confident and he was never fearful about the situation. But this is in the time of difficulty or in the time of danger, this quality will be tested. How much faith we have in the Lord and how much devotional service we have done. So are we able to put complete faith on Krishna, and do we have the complete faith in the protection of the Lord? That is Rakshishyati iti Vishwaso. One who has surrendered, he will have complete protection from the Lord. Then Goptrutve Varanam Tata. That is firm conviction. No maintainer other than Krishna is present. A devotee of the Lord, he will not run for any other protection. He will only depend on Krishna. Ashlishya vapādaratam pinashtumam adarshana marmahatam karotuva yata tatava vidadatu lampato matprananatastu sa eva naparaha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So either Krishna, you embrace me to your heart, or you make me a broken hearted, but still I don't have any other master. Na paraha. Mat prananatastu na paraha. You are the only master and I don't have any other master. That is the Goptrutve Varanam Tata. A firm conviction that there is no other maintainer other than Krishna. But we have so many other options. If this doesn't work, I'll go for this. This doesn't work, I'll go for this. But for a pure devotee, he will only depend on Krishna and he will not make any other activities or any other arrangements. Atma Nikshepa, that is self-surrender, acts and thinks as Krishna desires. So completely surrender to Krishna, just like a animal, how it is completely surrendered to the master. It will completely put his faith on the master, and whatever the master does, it is for my own good. Anything that happens in my life, it is for my good only. It is, everything is happening according to the direction of Krishna only. Nothing is out of control. So this is the self-surrender, completely surrender to Lord, Atma Nikshepa. And finally, Karpanya, humility. The devotee is always humble. He has no pride. If there is a pride, then Krishna will not come. But a person should be always humble, and so that Krishna, the mercy of Krishna, always flow through, towards him. So these are the 6 principles of surrender or Sharanagati. So this, whatever Krishna is telling, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. When Krishna is telling this, we should remember these 6 points. Are we able to perform all these things? Have we given up all the unfavorable things, and have we accepted everything that is favorable to the devotional service? And do we have faith in complete protection of the Lord? And have we accepted Krishna as the only maintainer of me? Or have I completely surrendered to Krishna, accepting everything that is happening in the life for the my own betterment? And do we have humility even after having all these things? So this is the check that we can do ourselves. What does it mean by Sharanagati? Okay, let us hear from Srila Prabhupada. Deepti Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
One must become a devotee of Krishna, and the essence of all religion, is to surrender unto Krishna. The last instruction of Gita is the last word in all morality and religion. Surrender unto Krishna. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita 18.78 purport. Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So surrendering is a wonderful process. but it is not so easy. In the beginning, we say, okay, I will surrender completely to Krishna. It means that one should accept everything, all the instructions of the spiritual master, and he has to perform. Somebody asked, some devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, I want to follow you word by word. I want to follow all your instructions. The Prabhupada says, you begin whatever instructions I have given already. So that itself is enough for you to follow. So there are so many instructions that spiritual master is giving us. He will instruct us based on how much we follow. As we follow Krishna and Guru more and more, we get more and more instruction. And if we are not following all the instructions, then we will not be given more instructions, or we will be given the minimum instruction. You just follow this much. Then once you are capable of following all the instructions or whatever instructions are given, you will be given more opportunity for doing the service. So surrendering process is an ongoing process. It is not one time when a person can completely surrender. Generally, pure devotees can surrender to Krishna at a time, but they are always surrendered to Krishna. But generally, when a devotee says that I want to surrender to Krishna, it's a gradual process. We gradually give up all our bad habits, or the anukulyena sankalpa pratikulyena varjanam. Then gradually our faith on Krishna develops. In this way, the process is going on during our devotional practice. Next, continuing, this is 1857. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. In all activities, depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, buddhi yogam upashritya matchitta satatam bhava. Be fully conscious of me. So always think of Krishna. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Matchitta. One has no goal in life save and accept acting in Krishna consciousness just to satisfy Krishna. And while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. While acting in such a way, one naturally has to think of Krishna. This is perfect Krishna consciousness. Bhagavad Gita 18.57 purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
It's continued?
Okay, no, it's okay. Rachita Mataji.
Okay, no problem.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Now
Krishna.
one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna, but when Krishna is not present, how should one act? If one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of a representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. So even though Krishna is not present in front of us, but Arjuna had the opportunity to directly hear from Krishna. Now hearing from the Krishna and hearing from the representative of Krishna, there is no difference. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Evam param paraprapta. One should act according to the order of Krishna. This is a very important point. That order of Krishna comes through disciplic succession from the bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, the spiritual master's order should be taken as the prime duty of life. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Bhagavad Gita 18.57 purport. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. This is the picture of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur giving initiation to Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada has taken the instructions of his spiritual master to his heart, and he has spread the message of Godhead all over the world. So this is how the person gets surrendered to Krishna. And when a person surrenders to Krishna, Krishna will take care of him completely. Now this is Sanjaya is speaking. Vyasa prasadat shrutvan etad guhyam aham param. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard this most confidential talk. This, we know the story that this Dhritarashtra is blind and Sanjaya is explaining him. And Sanjaya is able to see each and everything that is happening in the battlefield because he has been given the boon to see everything that is happening in the Kurukshetra battlefield. So one has to surrender, understand Krishna not directly but through the medium of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is the transparent medium, although it is true that the experience is still direct. This is the mystery of the disciplic cessation. So what we see through our eyes, it may not be understandable. We will not be able to realize, but when we hear, we will understand it better. So spiritual science or spiritual subject matter, it is accepted through the ear, not through the eyes, because our eyes have limitation. But when the pure devotees, they are showing the mercy through their words, we can accept it and we can also get enlightened. So we have come to the conclusion of this chapter. Identified and discussed the relevance, significant verses mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, the second part. And then mood and mission substantiated the importance of surrender to Krishna as the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. That is, surrendering to Krishna is the final instruction with reference to. If you see Bhagavad Gita, the text number 66 is the Sarva Dharman Parityajya. And that is the last instruction. After that, Krishna will not instruct Arjuna. He will only say whom this Bhagavad Gita has to be spoken and whom it should not be spoken, all those things. Idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana. But he has stopped his instruction at 66 itself. And that is the final instruction. That is the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Then cited examples of Prabhupada displaying the 6 items of surrender in the behavior, and discuss the importance of attitude of service. Then substantiated the importance of surrender to Krishna through the bona fide spiritual master, coming in disciplic succession with appropriate references from the Bhakti Shastras. Yeah, Shri Hari Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Karishye Vachanam Tava. So to study Bhagavad Gita is to understand Krishna factually. When a person is in full knowledge, he naturally surrenders to Krishna. When Arjuna understood that it was Krishna's plan to reduce the unnecessary increase of population, he agreed to fight according to Krishna's desire. He again took up his weapons, his arrows and bow, to fight under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Mataji.
Karishya Vachanam Tava. Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or fiction writer. It is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. Bhagavad Gita 18.72-73 purports. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So Arjuna understood Bhagavad Gita and he has started fighting. So this one thing we should understand. Some people say that if you read Bhagavad Gita, you will become a sannyasi, or you will give up all your work and you will be you will not do any of the activity. So such things are not true, because after hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna did not stop working. Rather, he fought in the right spirit. So Bhagavad Gita, it will instruct us how to work in this material world. It will not instruct to stop our activity. Doing the activity in the ignorance will create bondage. But doing the activity, the same activity, when a person is in knowledge, it will give the liberation. So Bhagavad Gita will give the knowledge in which we have to perform the activities as a devotion to the Lord and how to surrender to the Lord. All these things are explained. And after hearing Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna did not stop fighting, rather he fought the war under the instruction of Krishna. So there is no fear that a person will run away from the world when he performs devotional service. Rather, he will be really able to act under the instruction of Guru and Krishna. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of this third unit. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. If you have any doubts, questions in this today's class, you can raise your hand. Muralidharan Prabhu.
This is just a realization, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
After the whole Bhagavad Gita reaching 700 verses, 695, 96, the purpose of the whole episode is like what you said. The purpose of knowledge is to make us realize how little we know.
Yes.
Because there is a whole ocean which meanders through the Bhagavatam and the other scriptures and the hundreds of books that Prabhupada ji has written. Knowledge is going to be something that is never ending. And one other realization I have is surrender is not a one-time affair. I will have to wake up every morning and start again another surrender episode. It's like again and again and again and again, I need to remind myself that I love the Lord and I love to serve the Lord. And this is how even our personal lives are many times. To whom we are related, to whom we are married. I am married to my wife. I need to remind myself every day that I'm in this relationship, and or if I want to get out of this relationship, Krishna is there waiting on the other side. Another realization I got as you were speaking was the clutches of the Maya is automatic. I need to put effort to go towards the getting closer to Krishna, loving Krishna. That's what I realized. It's not that it is readily available. I will have to first get out of the clutches of Maya to go to the Lord and learn and understand. I think this Bhagavad Gita is just a tip of the iceberg. There is a huge ocean waiting underneath for me to explore and find. That's the realization I have. Thank you, Prabhuji, for this wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhu. Bhagavad Gita, if you ask someone, in the beginning, everyone say, oh no, I know Bhagavad Gita. I know Bhagavad Gita, because that is the first impression, means first feeling they have. What is there? It is very simple. What Krishna spoke in the Kurukshetra to Arjuna. They know a little shloka, and that is like, they don't know that they don't know. When they come to know, when they read this Bhagavad Gita, then one can realize how much deep is the ignorance. So then a person will understand that whatever he knows is very, very little. So exploring the ignorance in the beginning, then only we'll get the real knowledge. So Bhagavad Gita will make us humble by making us to understand how little we know. And a humble person will gain the knowledge. The knowledge is revealed by Krishna himself. It is not an academic knowledge, just you read and understand. Such things are not possible in Bhagavad Gita. One has to surrender to the Guru and Krishna. Then the real knowledge is revealed to him. And Maya, yes, Maya is meant for controlling. The Maya's job is a thankless job. She is engaging each and every person. It is surprising to see that each and every living entity in this material world is having one or the other engagement. If you have if there are so many students in a classroom, it's very difficult to engage every student in something. Some student will create some problem because we have not engaged in the right direction. But Maya, she will engage everyone. Unless that person wants to come out, he will not come out. He will be having one or the other work to do. So that is the Maya's clutches. It is very, very strong. And she will do all the effort to engage us. If a person is trying to escape 100 times, the Maya will try once again 101 time to bring him down once again. So don't think that I have done so much now devotional service, now Maya will not touch me. No, she will definitely come and try once again. So each and every step she will put one or the other exam. So it is, you have to put very much effort, and then only we can escape from the clutches of Maya. That is, surrendering to Krishna only can help us to escape the clutches. Yeah. Sureshwar Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. As our teacher, we want you to suggest, because no, all will be having these kind of doubts. We all are grihasthas, we are not staying in the temple. We all are living with the non-devotees. We all are forced to go to all other 33 crore Devi Devatas. What should be our attitude when we go to all other places? Kindly help us what we are supposed to do. And you can tell us frankly, we know that no, Lord Krishna is the ultimate, but at the same time, we have to live with demons also. So what should be our...
Yeah, it is told, no, Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namah. Accept all of them as Vaishnavas. Unless they are Vaishnavas or unless they are appointed by the Lord, they will not be able to take up that position of demigod. Demigods are very happy if somebody is performing devotional service. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a chapter called Singing the Song Sung by Lord Shiva. This is the instruction given to Prachetas, the sons of Prachina Barhi. Lord Shiva is explaining them everything, how one should perform the devotional service to Krishna. So Lord Shiva is also very happy if somebody is taking to Krishna consciousness. Not only Lord Shiva, it is all the demigods. They will be very happy if somebody is taking to Krishna consciousness. Lord Ganesha is also happy because he will remove all the obstacles that is present, which is giving us trouble in the performance of devotional service. So just go to the demigod and pray to them. Sarvada, what is that? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha. Please accept my humble obeisances because you are a Vaishnava. And then if you see the prayers that are written by the Acharyas, they also have glorified the demigods, but in relation to Krishna. You can see in Kannada also there are many songs like Kailasa Vasa Gaurisha Isha Tailadharayante Bhakti Kodu Hariyalli, means, oh Lord of the Kailasa, Gaurisha, give me the devotion to Krishna. How we have to give? It is like Tailadhare. Tailadhare means the oil flow. When the water is flowing, there is breakage. When the oil is flowing, if you are pouring oil from one pot to another, it is a continuous flow. There is no breakage. So that kind of devotion, please give me. This is one of the prayer by one of the Acharya. So like that, demigods are also glorified, but in relation to Krishna. Demigods also helping us in doing devotional service to Krishna. Arjuna also has gone to the heavenly planets under the instruction of Arjuna. Go there and learn the art of fighting, and it will help you in the battle. So demigod worship is not a problem until we know that what is the real position of that demigod.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else has any question?